Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery with Smart Money Alliance and IIMFL. It is a beautiful Thursday morning, March 11th, 2021. It's our pleasure to visit with you today. We get together most weekday mornings at 8 o'clock Central or a minute or so before with our distribution partners. And we have three types of distribution partners. We have affiliates. It's free and easy to be an affiliate. Who wouldn't want to be an affiliate? All you do is educate, refer in, no selling involved. You get paid $1,000 on the front end, another 1 point of the client's capital raise. And what we're doing is promoting access to capital. Access to capital has no upfront cost for the client. It allows them to raise a minimum of $100,000, contractually guaranteed. No minimum credit scores, no minimum time in business for them to be able to enroll. While we're not network marketing or MLM, we certainly do have overrides. And so you can bring in other affiliates who can bring in other affiliates and you get paid. Essentially, we have three levels of comp. So the affiliate roles, the first role, the second role is a credit literacy educator. I'm not sure what happened this week, but we've just exploded with the number of new credit literacy educators. I think 20 to 22 new ones just this morning. So I don't know all of a sudden what happened, but that's exciting to see. Our credit literacy educators go out and they don't sell anything either. They just educate about credit. They can teach Credit 101. They can refer in to Credit Boost. Credit Boost is a no upfront cost program where we help individuals improve their credit score, not by credit repair, but by adding new positive credit. Thirdly, we have our joint venture partners. Our joint venture partners are at the top of the food chain. They're involved with actually working with clients. So that's different than affiliates or educators. Affiliates and educators can teach and create awareness and refer in, but it's only the joint venture partners that actually work with themselves or their staff with clients doing the mentoring. Joint venture partners are paid $100 an hour to do that mentoring. Plus they set up the key person policies. They thirdly receive a 50-50 split of the net revenue. Okay, so that's the background. What we need to do is focus in on our topic today. And the focus of the topic today is leads. And so I'm sharing my screen, and if all's going well in the world of technology, you see this. So there's no great secret. You can go to referenceusa.com. They rename themselves, and so it seems inconsistent. They go by Data Axle now, but you can go to Reference USA. If you want us, let me caveat first. If you want us to get you leads list, we just hired a data analyst. She'll do it for you. If you want to do it yourself, I'm going to show you how to do it yourself. It's important that you understand this tool, and we've talked about it before, but we're going to go into it a little bit deeper. So let's say that you want, whether you're a joint venture partner or just simply an affiliate, it's like, well, I want to make more money. I want to help more small businesses, but where do I get leads? And we talked about Jim's model. I think we talked about it yesterday, where he posts on Craigslist. But another way to go about it is to approach businesses from this database. Now we have a couple options. We can identify any and all businesses, but we can also focus in on new businesses. With our incubators, we're commonly forming new business entities for our clients. And so then we see the type of communication that we receive. And it's not unusual that there are, even colleges will have programming for new businesses, and we commonly get marketed to because of forming new entities. So let's go ahead and look at what that means. So let's say that we want to do an advanced search. And again, our data analysts can do this for you, or you can do it yourself, but I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, so we're going to do an advanced search. Now, we're not looking for a specific company or a specific executive, so we're not going to filter on that. Certainly, we could filter off of key industry groups, but let's say that we don't care about that. What we're really looking for are newly formed businesses. So we'll start with a date range, and I want to see new businesses that was formed in the last month. Now, I want to have some sort of geographic target. So let's say that we're going to focus on, we'll just say Houston, Texas. So let's go to Texas, and then we'll scroll down and we'll find Houston. Excuse me. So now we're going to filter off of Houston, Texas, newly started businesses in the last month. Now, we can look at location type. Do we want to only look for home-based businesses? Those are especially valuable, right? Because they're starting from home, and that's probably because they don't have a commercial address. It's probably because they don't have the capital maybe to have a physical office yet. So again, if you don't want to filter off of that, you can remove it. But let's say that we're going to filter off of new home-based businesses from the past month in Houston, Texas. Now we can also say, well, we only want certain area codes or phone numbers. We're not going to worry about that. We could also filter off of type. Do we only want those that are corporations? Do we want those that have just filed for new licenses? Do we want those that have just formed DBAs or assumed names? We won't filter off of licenses, but we'll play with this, and we can do some what if scenarios. So we're going to do a search of recently formed new businesses in the past month in Houston, Texas, that are home-based, that are either DBA or corporations. So we're going to update the count. There's 1,572 of those. We can click view results, and they'll pop up. Now we can export them out into a spreadsheet, but let's just take a look. So we have, and again, we didn't plan what came up first. So it's Old Orchard is the company name, based off of Barn Course Drive in Richmond, Texas. So we can click on Old Orchard and get some details. We have their SIC code, we have their county. In this case, we have their phone number, but we don't have the executive name. That's not quite as good when you call them. It's always better if you're going to call them to be able to ask them by name, but we certainly could do a mailing out to them if we want. We can go back and choose others. So let's say we go down to RL Logistics. In this case, we didn't get the executive name again, but we do have phone number. We can play with this a few times, and let's pick one more. So, for whatever reason, the three that we randomly chose did not have the executive's name, but it did have the entity name, the address, and the phone number. This will not provide email addresses. So with that being said, if you wanted to have yourself or one of your staff people to contact newly formed businesses and say, great, congratulations on forming, you could do a mail merge, congratulations on forming Old Orchard. We have, as a 501c3 nonprofit, we have a grant subsidized program to help you get capital to really get your business started. There's no upfront cost for the Access to Capital program. We guarantee a minimum of $100,000 capital raise. Why don't we go ahead and give it a try? So you could either do a mail out to these folks, or you could call them. Again, can't email them because we don't have email addresses. We can do a heat map to kind of see where these businesses are forming. Now, again, we chose around Houston, Texas, but it shows where the density is. We can even see by zip code that 53 of them formed in 77479 as well as 77407. So it's interesting to be able to see the type of data that is available. We can also pull up some charts and see by industry codes. So in this geographic area, there are more trucking companies that formed than any other type of industry. So you can see by listing and by chart here and so forth. And so let's say we wanted to focus on the trucking companies. We could click on that and it brings up just the trucking companies. So the point is, if you're one of our joint venture partners, we can have our data analyst do these polls for you at no charge and be able to keep you fed with leads to reach out to. Or if you're not a joint venture partner, you're more than welcome to use the same resource we use as I've shown. Okay, so are there any questions about looking up new businesses? All right, John says, let's change business filings. Let's take off the DBAs and only look at corporations, he says. We'll update that. We'll take off, I think he's wanting to take off the home-based. And so then by that criteria, in the past month, we have 120. Tell me, John, if I'm not on track of what you're wanting to do. So then we can take a look at these results. We can click on one, and here we go. So yeah, I think John's onto something. We're picking up more data from the corporate filings, which come from the state, than we were from the DBA filings. So great call, John, on that. So here we can contact Mr. Gerardo Luzardo, who's the manager. He has 4 employees of this new entity. And again, well, in this case, it didn't come up with a phone number. That wouldn't do us much good. We'll have to decide what the campaign is, right? If your goal is to call them, then this wouldn't work out well on this lead. But if we wanted to mail them, we could. But we can go back and just pick others randomly. Let's pick Amos Brothers. No phone number there either. That's kind of strange, isn't it? CNS. I can tell you that if we go back and change the data range, and I know it shouldn't be like this, but what I've seen is let's go back a month. So let's go from January 1st to February, I'm sorry, January 11th to February. Let's update the count and let's see the results. What I've seen happen before is that the newest leads often in the database don't have all the data fields populated. So let's try that. Well, still no phone number on that one. Yeah, I can't explain it. I mean, it's not my database, but essentially what we can do is we can run queries because we're not getting phone numbers off of any of these corporate entities, which is weird, but we were getting them off the DBAs, but we weren't getting the contact people. But regardless, you can go in and play with the database. And that's really what's a lot of fun, to run different queries based upon what you're interested in doing, or if you're a joint venture partner, our data analysts can do that for you. Let's go back to the main screen. So we were playing with new businesses there. Some of you have a real interest on the individual side, like with Credit Boost. So we can go to US consumers. We can go to do an advanced search. We can, I don't know why that's, I don't care about that. But let's say, again, we're going to look at a metro area. We'll do the same. We'll do Houston, Texas. And let's say that we want to screen them on area of interest. And so we can go over here and let's see here. There's one of them that was really applicable. Let me find it. Personal finance, money-making opportunities. So we have people in Houston, Texas that have an interest in making money. We update the count, 341,000 of them. We'll see view results. First one that came up was Gordon Norwood. We can click on Gordon, see what's going on with Gordon. So we got Gordon's address, his city, his county. He's been in that home for 30 years, which is interesting. He's a male, he's married. Estimated household income, estimated home value, and then his areas of interest, which is picking up on money-making opportunities. So a lot of you that are active as affiliates are looking to bring on more affiliates. This would be a way to find people in your area or any given area that are interested in making money. Let's go back and do one more type of search, and I'll get to your questions. So let's go to the main database, which is US-based businesses. We'll go to advanced search. And here, we're going to do something different. Let's be consistent. So let's go to Houston. We're only going to look at verified businesses. So someone has literally made sure that their contact information is accurate. So let's go to Texas and then Houston, and I'll show you what we're going to do different on this one. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to look at, we're going to screen by location. You know, we're probably looking for single location businesses, aren't we? We're not looking for subsidiaries, headquarters, or branches. Our target audience is probably going to be single location businesses. We could also add home-based businesses and either do only those or exclude those. So I guess for fun, we'll do only existing home-based businesses. But let's say that we want to target by credit. We can target those that have excellent, good, very good, what have you. We won't filter on that, and I'll show you how the credit reports on them on the update. So it's at update count. We got 26,000 of them. We hit view results. We'll click on, now we can see the ones we have executive names on. So this is a more robust database because it's verified versus the other, which was newly formed businesses, which is just pulled from public filings. So let's go say we want to take a look at 123 Painting and More, David Gullen. Well, he doesn't have a phone number, so we probably wouldn't want David. So let's do 123 ABC Inc. So now we have the phone number, we have the location. Again, he's in a home-based business. Apparently, he does accounting and bookkeeping. But what we can scroll down and see, he's got excellent credit. Maybe that's what we want. Maybe we really like someone that has excellent credit because we're going to know that they're going to be able to get funding more easily. But in contrast, maybe we want to go back and we want to look for someone that doesn't have excellent credit because they might offer an opportunity for credit boost. So here, credit is good versus excellent. And again, we could have filtered on those. We're just kind of clicking around. Let's see how Julie's doing credit-wise. Julie is credit rating unknown. So the point is, Data Axle is a really useful database. If you're a joint venture partner, we can have our new data analyst actually do queries for you. If you're not a joint venture partner, then you're welcome to do the same thing that we do. You would just subscribe to Data Axle, and then you would be able to do your own queries, which isn't all bad. All right, so let's see here if there's anything else we're missing. All right, so I think we're good there. So let's take a look at your questions, and some of these questions will be based around Data Axle and others may not. Demetrius wants to take a look at the medical profession. Okay, so let's do that. So we'll look at new businesses. We'll do an advanced search. Let's look at, we have to find industry code. We need healthcare. He was interested in chiropractors specifically. Let's see how many are there. We have 1651 there, Demetrius. Then we'll do view results. And so again, I didn't screen on Houston specifically, but we can look up Chiropractors Clinic in Kearney, New Jersey. They're operating as a DBA, home-based, which is interesting. You wouldn't necessarily expect a chiropractor to be home-based, but maybe their entity is home-based, but they didn't know that they should update with the state that they have a business address now. So I don't know if that's what you're looking for, Demetrius. We can look at another one. Feel Better, and again, a DBA. So yeah, you can certainly focus on given industries. All right, so Demetrius, we covered your question. Joseph's asking, is there a cost? No. Well, I mean, if you go sign up for Data Axle yourself, you'll pay them whatever they charge, but we have our own subscription, so we'll provide that for you for free. Joseph, thank you. Demetrius asks, how far back can you go to see how long they've been in business? Well, it's a great question. Let's see here. Doesn't seem like, well, this is new businesses. So let's go back to the entire database, do an advanced search. So what I think Demetrius is thinking is looking for, I don't know, it's not updating, looking for businesses that have been around a little longer. So let's see here. Years in database, year established. So we can do year established and then filter off of that. So let's say that we want to see those that were formed that were at least 2 years old, 2018. We got 314,000. So yes, in the one database, you certainly can. Now, let's say that you wanted to target African-American small businesses, because that is something that we're passionate about, helping minority-owned businesses. We can even screen off of the ethnicity of the executive. And so let's challenge that and see. So we can go look at Jeremiah Vanderpool, pull that up, and we can get their full credit report, but credit rating's good. And Jeremiah is African-American male. Okay, so I think that answered the question about how far back. Joseph asked, can you show us how to pull leads on Upwork, or how to contact the telemarketers? Sure. So I'm going to leave DataX. So I think we've covered that. Let's go to Upwork. So Upwork is where you can go find gig workers. You can hire people for next to nothing. You can hire whole firms or individuals that can do work for you. So let's say that you're wanting someone to do sales and marketing, and you can see the skill set that you're wanting to screen on. So let's say I've got all these leads that Tom was talking about. I need someone to do really the telemarketing, to call them and reach out to them. So you can click on telemarketing, and then you start to see the people that do that. Now they have vastly different hourly rates, right? Deborah, she's got a nice picture. She's $65 an hour. That might be a little bit deeper than our pocketbooks allow. We can get Regina for $11 an hour. We can keep scrolling down. Jarrett will work for $10 an hour doing that. Once you get to, when you log in, you'll have access to more data. But if you start looking at international talent, they often have a much lower price range, and finding $2, $3, $4, $5 an hour is not unusual at all if you go to more of an international target audience. Okay, so Joseph, let me know if that's what you're looking for Upwork. So essentially you'd create an account, which is free, you'd log in, and you could post a job, and it would match people that do what you want them to do at the price you're willing to pay them. Thank you, Joseph, for that question. James asks, how do we get access to the company subscription for free? Yeah, so if you want our data analyst to do the searches for you, then we can do the searches, and that's back. We were on Data Axle here. So yeah, we'll do that for you if you're a joint venture partner. If not, you would sign up yourself. All right, Joseph asked, how much do we charge for the leads? Nothing. That's what I'm saying. We do that. We hired a new data analyst. She is on board, ready to do leads list for you. Bernard, yeah, I didn't get the recording out for the past probably 2 weeks, but yesterday's was really good on the gem model, and we'll get that out to everyone. Yeah, and Robert, people always say that, but the bottom line is either your clients want to be distribution partners or not, and if they don't want to be, that's fine. If they want to be, then they can sign up to be an affiliate. for free, or they can just work with you and they can get engaged if they would like to get engaged. But yeah, people always will say, if this happens, then that'll happen. But some people are interested in earning an adult income on the side, and they're welcome to do so, and there's no cost for them to be an affiliate. All right, James got a good question. A little bit off what we're talking about, but that's fine. James asks, how do I properly explain the $1,250 initial cost for the Access to Capital program? I would explain to them that there is no $1,250 initial cost for the Access to Capital program. There is no upfront cost, James. So let them know that, and they'll love you for it. Joseph asks, is it possible to choose only people who have email addresses on Data Axle? Well, Data Axle does not provide email addresses at all. So if your requirement was only those with email addresses, then you would have 0 leads to work. If you want only those with phone numbers or home-based businesses or those other filters, of course, but they don't provide. Now, there's ways that you can work with them, and they will do email blasts for you. I'm not entirely familiar with that. You'd have to get with them to see how that works. But the databases do not provide email addresses. Thank you, Joseph, for that question. All right, so kind of wrapping it up. What did we talk about today? We know that we're passionate about helping small businesses, that what we do is legal and it's ethical and it's effective. We're technical advisors. We're not lenders. We're technical advisors. We help small businesses improve their financial literacy, improve their credit, and increase access to capital. The Access to Capital program has no upfront cost. It has no minimum credit score or time in business to be eligible to enroll. And it has a guaranteed $100,000 capital raise. It's very strong. It's a very strong proposition. We've talked about Jim's model, which we discussed yesterday, which was posting on Craigslist. What we're talking about today is harvesting leads from databases. And this is one database that you can harvest from. We can pull from all businesses, or we can target those that are recently formed. And then even there is the consumer database if you want it. Our primary focus would probably be these new businesses that are forming. Because let's just do one more search. Let's just say in the month of February, how many new businesses were started that probably would like to have more capital? So we're going to go to date range, and we're going to go from the last full month. So we'll go from February 1st to February 28th. So we're going to look at just new businesses formed last month around the country. Let's make a guess. What do you think is the guess that you would wager of how many new businesses were formed last month alone? You think there's 3,000 new businesses across the country, 30,000 new businesses? Well, let's see. We're going to hit update count. There were 2 million new businesses started. Uh-oh, I'm off by a year. I thought that was wrong. Let's update that. There were 208. That sounds better. 208,000 new businesses formed last month in February alone. If you were to just reach out to those 208, what percent of them do you think are looking for capital? My wager is probably 90%. Do you think 90% will enroll in Access to Capital? No, I don't think so. But if you were to be able to somehow theoretically reach out to these 200,000, and we're saying almost all are looking for more capital to start and grow a business, what if you had 10% conversion? That would be 20,000 new clients. That would be 20,000 new key person policies. It's incredible. And you might say, well, was that month an outlier? I don't know. Maybe it was. Let's go to January and see if it was around 200,000 or not. So we'll go back 1 month. 31 days. So we were at 208 in February. What did we have in January? 148, a little bit smaller. So maybe February was an outlier. But you can see that, you know, there's well in excess over 100,000 new businesses forming across the country each month. If you were to reach out to them, either yourself or have someone reach out to them, many of them are going to be interested in access to capital. No upfront cost, $100,000 guarantee, credible, legitimate program. All right, so let's get back to the last questions you all have, and then we'll wrap it up for today. Robert's asking, on the key person policy, you really want to work with the client and identify what is suitable for them, and that's really between you and them. We know that the key person policy can serve as a collateral assignment. We normally like to use Mutual of Omaha's, and they have the no med underwriting up to age 70. So it's essentially a guaranteed issue. I thought it was 500,000. And I thought I wrote a bunch of those, but maybe they've changed it, or maybe my memory is that bad and it's only 300,000. I don't know, Robert, but you can work with Mr. Stoner and figure out the details on that. Who has any other questions on leads? I mean, there's an infinite number, nearly an infinite number of small businesses that want and need capital. You're going to be able to monetize it based upon your ability to reach them and create awareness. Some of you have great lead generation systems already. You don't need any help. You're generating all the leads that you could ever want. Others are not. So certainly posting on Craigslist is one way to do it. But another is pulling leads from this database. Again, as I mentioned, we do this free for our joint venture partners. If you want us to have our data analyst pull leads for you, we can do that on a weekly basis. If you're not a joint venture partner, not a problem. You can use the same database that we're using. Just go to DataAxle, referenceusa.com, and sign up and get a subscription, and then you can pull this. It's not a secret. This is where the primary source of leads comes from. Joseph's asking about Upwork again. So again, Upwork.com. It'll populate here in a second. You should, sign up, but the bottom line is under sales and marketing, you can see the skill levels, and you can even have you can build an affiliate team from Upwork. You can have people do search engine optimization, search engine marketers for you, SEO experts. You can have those that develop MailChimp and do drip campaigns for you. You can hire them to do Facebook marketing for you. What we were talking about, though, was telemarketing here. You get people just to make cold calls. There are some people, maybe not you or I, they'll just burn up the phone. They'll make 100 or more calls a day. Let's take a look at cold callers for a second. So again, you can see that they have different backgrounds and different wages. Jan will work for you for 12 an hour. Lisa wants 50 an hour. I'm not saying she's not worth it. You can scroll down. Althoff, he's at 10 an hour. Camille at 11 an hour. Oh my gosh, Dave must be really good. He's at 75 an hour. And so forth. But what I can tell you is that once you create a profile and you log in, if you start considering international gig workers, in many cases, their prices are noticeably lower, often below US minimum wage. Okay, so who has any questions on Upwork, which was not the focus today, or leads lists? All right, so we've got a question there on, how do you request the leads list? So on iimfl.org, all you're going to do is email in to us and say, hey, I want leads, and any specific criteria, preferences that you have, email that in, And then on a weekly basis, our data analysts can generate leads for you to reach out to. Let's say that you want the leads, but you don't want to call them. That's fine. Then you could use someone on your team or even an Upwork worker to do the phone calls if you don't want to. Any other questions that anyone has? Got a lot of great minds on the call today. April and Barry, Bernard and Bruce and Kwong and Demetrius and James and John and Jim and Joseph, Kenny, Mark, Quentin, Robert, Scott with 1 T, Scott with 2 T's, Will, and others. Anyone have any questions on what we covered today regarding leads lists? I guess secondarily Upwork. Demetrius made a statement. He says you cannot find out their previous income or business income. Okay, thank you for clarifying that, Demetrius. All right, well, I think we're good to go. So let us know what we can do to help. We're off to a tremendous tremendous March. February was record breaking for us, and we're on pace now to outperform February. So things are working well. We'll have the new client onboarding system rolled out later this month. Great things are happening. Let's just make sure that you're monetizing this and benefiting from it yourself. Thank you all. Have a great day. Bye.